Hey guys, it's Brit, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about my coming out story and all of that, because it was kind of a weird time in my life because I grew up LDS. Well, let's just get into the beginning of the story before we start. So, I was like 16. I think I was like 16 when I started going into like the gay chat rooms on like AOL and things like that, and I was just looking to make friends because being gay and being LDS, like, I was too afraid to tell anyone because you're so worried about being condemned or, you know, just that feeling of being judged. So I don't know. So throughout a couple years, I just kind of like messaged people and I never really met anyone. But when I turned 17, that's when I kind of started getting a little bit more gutsy and felt like I really need to have friends that I can connect with. I felt like that's what I was missing in my life. So I ended up going on gay.com and I found a couple friends that I would hang out with on occasion, and so I would sneak out of the house and I would tell my grandma, because I lived with my grandma at the time, I would tell my grandma that I was going over to my friend's house or like my stepsister. And so that was just kind of the stepping stone that helped me to kind of break the ice so that I felt more comfortable being around gay people. Because in the beginning, it was like, it just kind of startled you because you know you're that way, and it just makes you feel a certain way inside your body. Like, do you know what I mean? So during this time in my life, I was very self-conscious about my body. Like, I did not like one thing about my body at the time. That's when I had like an eating disorder. I thought I was too fat, and coming new into the gay scene, being a young dude, you know, you want to be a twink because that's what, well, I mean, that's what I wanted to be. So, back to the coming out story. So that's just a little bit of the backstory about how I just kind of got involved in the community. So I would hang out with these dudes, and I think they would get the wrong impression because I was just there to hang out, but now looking back, I'm like, oh my god, I was such a tease. So one day, because you know how Friday nights are as like a 17, when you're 18, you get dressed, you go buy clothes to go out dancing, and you go with your friends. So it was a Friday night. I had been 18, and so my friends were like having fun, and all of a sudden I get a call from my cousin, and she's like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, you know, I'm just going out dancing with my friends, and I was having a good time, and the music was up, and she's like, well, where are you going? And I told her, I said, girl, I'm going to Club Sound. We're gonna go to the gay bar and go dancing. Like, so she was just kind of shocked and hung up the phone. So right then I just kind of went into panic mode, and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Did I really just say that? And so I start kind of panicking a little bit, and I'm trying to keep myself calm because we're supposed to go out dancing. About 10 or 15 minutes later, my brother calls, and he was just kind of like concerned. He sounded concerned. He's like, hey, I just got off the phone with Natalie. She said that you had told her this and such and such and such and such. Like, so I told him it was true, and from that point on, we didn't talk for, I think it was like, it felt like 3 years, but I don't think it was that long. So in that time of coming out and not talking to him in so long, you know, he got married, and I wasn't invited to his wedding, so it kind of like I was invited to be at the wedding, but I wasn't invited to be in the wedding as a family member. Do you know what I mean? So it was very hurtful for me at the time. Obviously, I've moved past all of that now, so, I mean, yeah. So coming out to my brother was a little bit more of a challenge for me in my life. He was the only person in my life that kind of I had a struggle with connecting with at the time with that issue. The rest of my family, they're pretty much accepting. You know, there's still those ones that refer to me as he. They still call me Andy or Andrew. And I get it to some degree. Like I said in my previous videos, you can't expect everyone to pick it up so quickly because they've known you for so long as this other person. But, yeah, I'm going off on a tangent again. So when I moved to Tucson, that's when I started to perform in drag. And that was a huge stepping stone for me to become transgender. I felt like it really helped me feel a lot more comfortable in women's clothes. Not that I didn't before, but I was just so worried about the backlash and the judgment from the people seeing me. So yeah, when I came out as being transgender, when I lived in Tucson, at the time, me and my brother had already made up, so everything was perfect in my life. And so now I'm coming into this being transgender, and I was super nervous because of what happened when I came out as being gay. I was just so scared because my mom had already passed away, and she's kind of the reason why me and my brother reconnected after we kind of fell out of touch after that. So I felt like now that we had reconnected, it was very important for me to keep that connection. Like, that's something my mom would have wanted us to have forever. So when I came out to him as being transgender, it was honestly like no big deal. And I was like so worked up for nothing. You know, it's crazy. It's really crazy how life works. You know, you prepare for a certain situation and you get yourself so worked up, and then it's the exact opposite that happens. So I don't know. I feel like my coming out story, it wasn't bad, and I guess it was good for what it was, because who knows if I would have come out if I hadn't had been called by my cousin. I don't know. So yeah, that's my coming out story. I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you get notifications every time I submit a video. So until next time, bye guys.